Okay, Hui, aloha. Welcome, everybody. Call this meeting to order. I don't have to go. Hui. Aloha. Welcome. I call this meeting to order. Thank you. So Puna committee meeting will now come to order. It is Thursday, June 26th, 2 days after my laha now, and the time is 5:05 p.m. This meeting is held in person and by interactive conference technology. The meeting is also being recorded and heard on Zoom. As a reminder, per Sunshine Law, AC members appearing remotely must keep your cameras on and announce anyone who is with them except for minors at their location. So when I call the roll call, please identify if you have anybody with you. Thank you. Could I ask the visitors or the community members to not have side conversations while we're trying to do this mahalo? Committee member Jen Sheppard. That's it.
I'm here and there are other people in the house, but I'm in a room alone.
Mahalo. Committee member Marty Marshigi. Present. Mahalo in person. Committee member Leila Kealoha. She was here. I guess, did we lose her? There you go.
He's here.
Okay, Leila, anybody in the hallway with you?
Aloha, yeah, I'm down at Ka'akepa and there's actually about 15 people, but they're all off doing their own things right now at coconuts. So no one's around me right now.
Okay, mahalo, Leila. Committee member Susie Osborne here, I present with in person. And committee member Franny Brewer.
I'm here alone in my office.
Okay, mahalo, and then chair, our absentee chair, Leilani. Not with us, absent, okay, so Leilani DeMello, Greg Hanko, and Molly Wilson, absent. Okay, county staff, planning department staff, Marion Palma. And Cavello Khalid. Okay, mahalo. Housekeeping, please make sure your cell phones are turned off and on silent mode. Does anyone here would like to testify? Please fill out the form. Sign up form and give it to our staff. Zoom testifiers can send a message in the chat. We do have some Zoom testifiers today. Welcome. And to the Zoom host indicating which item they'd like to testify on. We ask that everyone please state your name before speaking. And to all of us who are attending here in person, please remember to speak towards the owl camera microphone so that everyone on Zoom can hear. Should probably have a chair put here for when we testify. So approval of the minutes. The time is 5:07 p.m. The committee will now consider approving the draft minutes from the February 27, 2025 committee meeting. May I have a motion to approve the February 27, 2025 meetings as circulated?
I make a motion that it's approved.
In mahalo. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Leila. Leila seconds. Okay, and it has been moved by Marty and second by Leila. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion carried unanimously. Any opposed? Oh, good. Okay, public testimony. The time now is 5:08 p.m. The committee will now call for statements from the public. As stated in the public agenda, members of the public may provide public testimony regarding any agenda item now or at the time the agenda item is called to order. If there's anyone here who would like to testify, we have the forms again and the front table and give to our staff. So should we do the Zoom testifiers first? Yeah, is there anybody Zoom? Yeah.
Yes.
So again, our Zoom members, Diga, Kathleen, and John, if you are here to testify, you may testify now or at the agenda item. Diga, would you like to testify now or later?
Now would be great.
Okay, perfect. So Diga, we welcome you to testify on agenda item. What are you testifying on?
I'm going to be testifying on the Punk letter.
Okay, All proceed.
My name is Diga Kern, and I've lived in Kauai Ili on Papaya Farms Road since 1994, 3 miles from Kumakahi. I'm involved in the local community as board chair of the Kauai Community Association, as steward of the Punk Cultural Forest Waele through local nonprofit Hawaii Environmental Restoration, and as part of Ohana o Kumakahi, a group of scientists, educators, recognized lineal descendants, and activists who have been advocating as a group for robust protection of Kumakahi since 2022. In my view, the county's Punk system, created by the people through referendum, is one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting Aina for future generations, essentially functioning as, quote, a process for identifying historic and cultural sites and advocating for their preservation and or restoration within the county's permitting and approval processes, close quote, which is objective 2.1.a in our CDP. As a property taxpayer, I'm happy to have a portion of my assessment go towards preserving significant lands in perpetuity. The work of Ashley, Susie, Keiki, Keone, and many others, some for over decades of time, has resulted in the proposal before you. Having been privy to some of the visionary meetings regarding Kumakahi's future, it is my perspective that consolidating and unifying the various properties is key to comprehensive preservation and management. At other sites, Punk ownership has already been demonstrated as flexible enough in its stewardship structure to allow grassroots activists, including those of Hawaiian ancestry, to take a lead role and make pivotal decisions. Thus, the highly capable Ho'oulu Lahui and the new Kalave Legacy Foundation are excellent candidates to guide the planning and activities at Kumakahi. For 3 years now, a group of friends and residents from Papaya Farms Road and Va'a, as well as native practitioners and others from the wider community, have participated in sunrise gatherings at Kumakahi to observe many of the solstices and equinoxes, where Heiau architect Keone Kalave and students have over time constructed an ahu with pohaku from the surrounding lava field and from our homes. Each time looking at this ahu, to me it symbolizes the interconnection between our communities. It seems to stand as a beacon for the revitalization of cultural practices, studies, history, recreation, and respect for iwi kupuna at Kumakahi and along the eastern shore. If you have a chance sometime, stop at the place that is soon to become Four Corners again and take a short walk to see. In terms of our CDP, multiple goals and objectives from section 2.1 of our Malama Ika Aina chapter will be solidly met and furthered by Punk acquisition of Kumakahi. Please submit the proposed letter of support from the Puna CDP Action Committee for the Kumakahi Punk application. Thank you.
Diga. Is there any other Zoom testifiers? John, Kathleen, Kapono, Kevin, are you here to testify? Okay. So at this time, we will have some in-person testifiers. Could I call up Hannah?
I'd rather do it when.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Hannah. How about Randy? Same. Okay, Stephanie? Same. Okay, this one is a new. Diane?
Yes.
Would you like to come up now, Diane, and testify? Right here, we've got a chair for, we got the hot seat right here for you. And we're gonna grill you. Oh, yeah, okay, I will, okay, yeah, so we have 3 minutes for each testifier, so.
Well, I'm Diane Ware from Volcano Village. I'm on the Volcano Community Association Forest Overlay Committee. And along with Kathleen Sheena, who spoke with someone from the group. And 20 years ago, I was on the plan working committee under Kim Tavares. Not Stephanie, but with Stephanie and Anna. And my working group was Malama Ika Aina, Native Forest Protection. And Volcano Community Association, the community also has a long range plan with the same goals, objectives, and actions as the Puna plan. But
Anna, can you speak up a little louder?
but they've never been implemented from the plan, and that is, it's in adopting a biosphere reserve buffer zone and ordinance, design district or separate biosphere region buffer zone as an overlay district, and that is section 2.2.3, where it outlines different communities that might want to develop plans, and Volcano was number one because we had this long range plan for 25 years. And it was always high priority forest protection. And it has gone through different updates, but we've never contacted you. And now the BCA has contacted Matt Kleinfelder. He came to Volcano, one of our meetings with 30, 40 people or more. And he agreed that he could help us write and create an ordinance to implement under several sections. The implementation section is 5.1.1, adopting as an ordinance. So I would like to request that this be put on your next agenda for, I understand, August 28th. And then we can bring more people here. We're going to be contacting Matt Kleinfelder, and maybe he can join us then also.
Thank you for your testimony. Okay, is there anybody else at this time that would like to testify, and not at this time? Did you fill out one of these? Oh, please go ahead and I'll get it for you after. Go ahead. And I remind you, we have 3 minutes. All right. And I'll give you the 30-second warning. Okay. Go ahead, introduce yourself, please.
So I'm Mary Marvin Porter. I live in Hawaii Paradise Park. And we are presently in a situation where a builder is building 4 rentals on 1 acre, calling one of them a single family home and the other a farm dwelling. And we've met with the planning director, and it's a confusing situation. Somehow we're told there's a first farm dwelling and then there's a second farm dwelling. And we really need help in this situation. Right now, we're told, well, there's a shortage of rentals, but in Paradise Park, there's 40 listed on Zillow right now. And I've been trying to understand what Darryl, planning director, is saying. But basically, he doesn't want to do anything until we individually file complaints, because what's happening, once the permit is passed, he changes them into 2 apartments in each house. So they're 2-story double duplexes. And if this committee could be of any help, we would certainly appreciate it.
Thank you very much to the testifiers. So the time now is 5:20. The new business, the first agenda item is the letter of support to POC. We heard Deegan testify on this deliberation on public access, open space and natural resource preservation. Commission suggested 2507 acquisition and consolidation of Kumukani in Puna. So before we ask for any further testifiers, I actually brought this agenda item forward and I wanted to give a really brief overview so people understood what this was. This has been a very long journey. I think all of you know where Kumukahi is the easternmost point of our island. And in 1999, there was a desecration of burials that occurred by tourists. And they were actually caught, unlike most desecrations. And it just so happened to be, and they couldn't be with us today, and neither could Ashley Kirkowitz, she's on vacation, sorry. But the burials that were desecrated were on the University of Hawaii property. In fact, in this area, there are multiple ancient cemeteries, many cemeteries with multiple burials. And this area that is being considered is over 2,000 acres with 14 different landowners. So there was one burial treatment plan that was approved, but it was never signed. And so when this was realized a few years ago, the lineal descendants, the two recognized lineal descendants worked with Shipti and the property owners. And in 2023, another burial treatment plan was this time signed. It cannot be executed until the road is open. And so, as Diga had mentioned, there have been years of discussions about the concerns for when the road is opened up again, because it will leave this place much more vulnerable, because there are not only a lot of different burials, but there's a lot of sites there, significant cultural sites. So the community members and other organizations have regularly convened and to begin to understand the needs and the components for a comprehensive management plan. We reached out to secure some funding for that, but the funders' response was the same. How are you going to get all 14 landowners on the same page for a plan, let alone how are you going to implement a plan with 14 different landowners? So the suggestion from our councilwoman Kirkowitz was to go through the process that would consolidate the 14 parcels, the 2,000 acres, at which time a management plan could occur and the burial plan could be enacted for that one area. So that was the PONC application was submitted, and 100% of the landowners agreed to participate and sell their properties, including Don Chan of DLNR, Kapoho Land and Development, Randall Chang, and others who provided support letters for the application. Site visits have occurred with the PONC Commission, attorneys, State Historic Preservation Department, the lineal descendants, and respective landowners. Extensive community engagement has occurred with the two nonprofits taking the lead, who represent the two lineal descendants. 11 nonprofits have committed to supporting the planning and the stewardship because the process welcomes community engagement in planning and also welcomes community engagement in the stewardship. It is not just like one organization. And 4 other cultural and educational institutions have supported the planning and committed to stewardship, and 1 localized residential grassroots group, and that's actually how Diga was referring to, the Kauai community and Kumukai Ohana, and government entities. So the commission said, yes, by all means, continue to provide letters of support. The Burial Council has submitted a letter of support. Thank you, Diga, for your letter. And so the agenda item to be voted upon today is just from the CDP, showing how this aligns with our CDP and a letter of support for this to go through. So it's simply a letter of support before us for consideration. So does anyone wish to make a motion on this item? I probably should have done that first before I spoke, so we can move forward on the agenda item. Sorry, I know very well. But slipping process, but is anybody willing to make a motion to consider this approving this letter?
I would like to make that motion, Susie.
Thank you, Fran. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Okay, so any further discussion on this agenda item? Now that you've heard what I presented in advance. Okay, if no further discussion. Oh, okay, go ahead, Leila.
Auntie Susie, you mentioned 11 organizations, and so the two that are supporting the linear sense is that Vaivela Vela and Ho'olahui?
So, Kuomo'o Legacy Foundation and Ho'oululahui.
And
And,
Who are the other 11 organizations?
well, the 11 organizations are that have committed so far, and it does not mean there's not room for more. Include. Malama o Puna, Pahoa Labazon Museum, Puna Canoe Club, Haloa, Mau Amau, Hui Aloha Aina o Puna, Malama Ke Kumu, Hoa'a, Kanalani, the Sierra Club, Menapa'a, Alanui, other organizations, Kamehameha o Puna, University of Hawaii, Hawaiian Studies Division, and University of Hawaii, Polynesian Voyaging Society, the government agencies, Department of Land and Natural Resources, State and National Trail System, Mauna Alahele, and Ohana Okumukahi as a grassroots organization. And to date, those are the committed contributors to supporting the planning and stewardship initiatives. And there's room for more.
Mahalo. I would like to offer Pohaku Pelimaka as an organization that would be in support of the work that you folks are doing.
Mahalo Nui will definitely,
Yeah.
we don't want to add anybody without their permission. Okay, so any other conversation around this? So if not, can I call the order, the vote, please? All those in favor? Please say aye. with a fair hand.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Only? Okay,
No.
so then carries. Okay, mahalo. Here. Okay, wait. Oh, Puna connectivity update. Update and deliberation regarding highway connectivity in Upper Puna. Is there anyone that would like to provide testimony on this item? I think we have several people. Is there anybody online that would? Hi, Jordan. Sorry. Someone I love is on the Zoom. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to provide testimony on Puna connectivity at this time? Jordan, would you like to? You're on mute if you are here. If you are. Okay. There we go. Could you please introduce yourself? And we have 3 minutes, Jordan. Mahalo.
Yeah, my name's Jordan Epperson. I'm the president with the Hawaiian Acres Road Corporation currently, and always a concerned member in Puna. Mostly in here to listen how this conversation goes, but I definitely do support the idea of connectivity in Upper and Lower Puna anywhere we can. The population is growing rapidly, and we need more connectivity points to make it easier to get around Puna. We're way short on that, and I don't think Puna's been getting the attention it deserves with being the fastest growing district in the state, if I understand correctly. So anyways, that's my testimony. I think Puna roads speak for themselves. Anyone who drives around and gets around in this district knows that we need to do more about connectivity. And I know you guys, many of you have been talking about it for a very long time. And I would love to see some movement on this as well. So anyways, thank you for my testimony.
Well, Jordan, congratulations, eh?
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else on Zoom that would like to testify on this item? Okay, Kevin, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cashel and currently the president of Main Street Pahoa Association. I run the neighborhood watch in my subdivision of Seaview. I was a long time 10-year resident of Kapoho until the lava came, which is how I ended up in Seaview. And the day that we got evacuated in the afternoon of the first, I think it was, I had to go from Papaya Farms Road to Pahoa through Shores and Beaches in the most, longest line of cars, which was one of the scariest things I've ever done. And I've been through all kinds of horrible things. So I am a great proponent of road connectivity and alternate routes. And I, tell every member of the administrations that as often as possible. I think it's really important to, get that message across. And I can't thank you all enough for making it an important issue on your agenda. If we had had a secondary route to get out that afternoon, it would have been much different. And one thing that was particularly notable was that the people in their houses were the most, scariest because they were coming out with bad attitudes. They were freaking out. So, all grist for the mill. Thank you so much. Let me know if I can do anything else, but anytime, of course.
Mahalo nui, Kevin. I see Steve there. Hadn't seen you earlier. Aloha, Steve. Anybody else would like to testify on Zoom? Hey, Steve, go ahead. Please introduce yourself. Oh, Layla, sorry, 1 second, Steve. Layla.
So sorry, but I have to jump off, you guys. Did you hear me?
Okay, we're good. We're good,
Okay.
Layla. We've
All
done the
right.
decision making, so mahalo nui.
Okay, mahalo, you folks. Ahui ho.
We all.
Hello, I'm Steve Sparks. I'm the president of the Puna Community Medical Center Foundation. I live in Leilani, and the connectivity is of utmost importance. And I'm wondering what's already being done and how I could help.
Okay, mahalo, Steve. Is there anybody else to testify on the connectivity issue that's online? Aloha, Ku'ule, welcome. So we are on the connectivity, Puna connectivity update. Anybody else here to testify on this item? Otherwise, we'll move to in-person. Okay, so Andy.
No. I'm gonna go first.
Okay, Hannah, you're up, Hannah.
Bro, you went to the bus.
Okay, thank you, Hannah. Please introduce yourself and remind you that you have 3 minutes.
And what does it sound like when you're telling me my 30 seconds?
Well, she's.
I'll put it on for 30 seconds.
Because I'm very hard of hearing.
Okay, don't call it up. Call it up. Don't be offended. It might sound rude, but we're just doing our job.
My name is Hannah Hedrick. Since 1996, I've been fighting for connecting the road from Fern Forest and Eden Rock. I didn't know what Puna Mountain or whatever Puna was, but I knew that people in Fern Forest needed to be able to get, for any number of reasons, through that connectivity location. I did not serve on the steering committee, but I was on 3 committees on the steering committee, and I was the author of the Halama Ika Aina, and I still have that original report. And I want to say that many of the recommendations in those reports would benefit the current day action committee, because many of them were never reflected in that that little report. I belong now to the Fern Forest Neighborhood Watch, to the Puna Community Collaborative. We have a big invasive species project with a big on invasive species committee. And consistently, everyone who is involved in those fern forest efforts really support opening specifically the road from Fern Forest to Eating Rock. That's number one. And everything that you guys have ever looked at. I'm really looking, hopefully today, to get information about whatever happened to the mayor's committee report, whatever happened to the letter that you wrote to the mayor, I'm saying 4 months or 6 months ago. The mayor, whatever. So I'm here to really collect information. We're having a meeting on July 5 at our Fern Forest Community Association lot. And we'll have civil defense, the community police, Janae Capella will be coming. We're hoping to have Matt all to identify how we can work together, how we can collaborate to benefit Puna Malka, but the primary agenda item will be Puna Road connectivity. Puna Road connectivity is the only PCD priority to have millions of dollars allocated that was then subverted when the lava flow came. Subverted by the Department of Transportation and allocated to Highway 130, never used, never got it back. So there's been a lot of money, and I keep understanding there's money available now, but for some reason it doesn't get spent. And I was told several times by Stephen Jose when he was the head of whatever was Public Works, that he was waiting for someone to say connectivity shall happen. I'm asking you guys to do whatever, and I know you have been doing whatever you can do.
30 seconds.
Okay. I'm here to learn what, if anything, is happening, and I invite you to attend our July 5 meeting and make your voices heard. Thank you.
Okay, Randy. Randy. Randy, please introduce yourself, and then may I remind you, you have 3 minutes, and we'll give you the 30-second warning.
I'm not gonna last that long. Okay, well, now that I've humiliated myself completely, Randy Horn, and I'm from Fern Forest and in the Neighborhood Watch Group. And also wanted to testify about opening the roads. Here we have very few alternate routes. You know, you've got one road. And if there's ever an emergency in our place, we can get out by the Orchid Place or by Glenwood, but no other way. You know, if there's an emergency, it's gonna be hard to evacuate. And it would be nice to be able to just cut that whole thing short and not have to go, you know, down, around, up and everything else. Make it a 9-mile drive instead of a 27-mile drive. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
Hallelujah. Stephanie. Who needs no introduction, please introduce yourself. May I remind you, you have 3 minutes to testify. Thank you.
Stephanie Bath,
And please speak up for the Zoom.
Stephanie Bath, Curtistown. Before I testify, I just wanted to comment on the fellow that lives in Seaview during the both Puna Regional Emergency fairs that were sponsored by Civil Defense. All the communities were unanimous about having connectivity except for Seaview. The Leilani event changed their mind. And so now we are 100% united. So thank you for that. So just a few comments that it's kind of redundant. Civil defense was a key player in assisting the community in gathering the data from the community. Patty crunched that data. We had a second preparedness fair. We presented the maps. I was the lead over the mapping room. So I testified to you that the community was engaged in this process of identifying connectivity locations. They're on the map. We just have to tweak it and figure out a few. So when every time we get a new administration, it seems like we have to re-educate our employees, the mayor, the new directors, some of the county council. And I'm coming for this body to say that I think that this body is the one to do that. And I'm suggesting that if a letter hasn't been written, that a letter be written, and that we have the mayor, Jeff Darrow, planning, acting director Azevedo, and any other players, those are the three, and maybe Bill Volante, come and sit here. You know, they have these community meetings. I think that we should have a meeting and we should be the big boys up front. And they should be sitting in the community, and we should have them ask us questions about what's stopping this process moving forward. I think that's it. So that's something that I think that is important to do. Managing Director Bohante has been a part of this process for many administrations. He knows what's going on. At the Pahoa meeting, when I asked about the status of connectivity, the mayor didn't seem to know what it was. They deferred to Gregor Iligan, and they talked about the PMART and the other connectivity. So we need to educate quickly, and we need to move forward because people are building and we're going to lose those connectivity locations. One last thing is, while we're at it, we should have Parks and Recs come in and look at possibly purchasing a couple of other parcels in line with the CL, so that we could do one linear park between Orchid Land and Hawaiian Acres, because that's in the CDP.
You're fine.
Thank you.
Perfect timing, Max. Geneva Jackson. Oh my. Please introduce yourself and we will gently remind you that you have 3 minutes.
I would love the 30-minute. I think it should be a lot of arm time. Maybe sidelined and just need a little encouragement with a 30-second.
Okay.
Please,
Please proceed at this. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Geneva Jackson. I own land in Fern Forest and in Hawaiian Acres. I'm very involved in our community. After Hurricane Lane, one of the things that I found myself doing was delivering propane, water, clothing, anything that was in desperate need. If you call Hope Services, they will likely give you my number. If you call Community Association or Road Corporation, you will likely get my number. Animals, keiki, kapuna, I'm on it. Hawaiian Acres is an island within an island. I am 100% for this connectivity. I offer myself and all of my connections in our subdivision to all of the connectivity through our subdivision that is needed. You do have a lot of people that are interested in opening our subdivision up. Roads in limbo is something I've posed to you to be a new topic of conversation, as our subdivision has been disabled by these roads in limbo and we have no access out. Hurricane Lane, our access point at Kulani, Old Volcano Trail coming in, it was a river, no access from Uhiniana out. During Hurricane Lane, Fern Acres, at certain points, had to actually travel through our subdivision to get out. After the Fern Acres gate went up and disabled our subdivisions, not just Hawaiian Acres, but Fern Acres, that also disabled emergency responders. That has to come down. I have multiple people writing letters about prescriptive easements to get that gate open. But it is disabling. The gentleman here could actually access out that gate from Anthurium to G Road by Okele, or after Hurricane Lane and after hostage situations, traffic is actually directed from our county into our subdivision and out through all of our roads, which is taxing. We don't get any help from outside of our subdivision. So I beg everybody, please, let's move this forward. I have met lots of men and women who've actually passed away waiting for this thing to move forward. It's very sad and facts. I'm sitting here with a lot of people who I've seen not see me with gray hair 10 years ago. So please move this forward. I've actually created a small map to show the roads in limbo. And there is no access out of our subdivision unless you take Aina Loa. That's actually the drawbridge. I submit that. And that is my time. Thank you very much. No arm flailing needed.
Yes, she's part of it. Oh, so could I ask Patty Pinto to come and give an update, which I think he'll. Be wonderful, some wonderful updates. From our Queen Connectivity, Patty Pinto, please introduce yourself, Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty Pinto. I have served on the Puna Community Development Plan Action Committee for 3 or 4 decades, I think, but not currently. Puna Connectivity has been my work for about 15 years solid. We've been through 4 administrations, and believe me, we have a complete brainwipe at the county when every administration changes. So it's very important, even though the work gets done and it might get turned over to somebody, there is no follow-up to implement the work that all of our community members do. And the plan work that we have done for Puna Road connectivity is exhaustive, it's complete, and needs no more work. We are ready to say, let's go. Now, Puna has a population greater than that of Hilo. And we have no access to real equitable public safety measures for our residents. And this is something that is only going to be fixed when we get with our squeaky wheel and complain. And that means everybody has to complain. And we have to complain regularly, and we have to complain to everybody.
So could you update us on what we've done and what we're doing? Because there is action.
We have written a letter. It has not been received a response from the mayor or Department of Public Works.
Since when?
It's been 2 months. Is that correct?
We sent it 2 months ago. We sent a follow-up of.
So then we have done some research. We have found all the times when funding for nearly all of these points of connectivity was in the capital improvement budget for the county. It is not a line item at this time, but there's nothing stopping it from being a line item. And have a rumor that there might be support for at least one of them. There's one road that connects the top of Fern Acres with the top of Kopua farm lots, which will give an additional access road to 3 subdivisions that now are 1 road in and 1 road out only. It's a small step, but the county can make small steps and make a huge difference. None of these points of connectivity are very expensive. We found with the fires that emergency evacuation was the biggest issue. And all of our subdivisions in Puna face trouble when we need to evacuate. We know that. We know that it's something we need to deal with, and every opportunity that we have to improve public safety evacuation routes for Puna population, we should leap on it. And something that is this easy to do and so painless and inexpensive, there's just no excuse for us not moving forward with it. Waikoloa, they are very good at squeaky wheel, and they're getting their emergency access road. People of Puna also deserve this kind of level of service. So we need to improve our squeaky wheel.
So we just, so you folks know, we did submit the letter to the mayor, we did follow up, we have convened side meetings. Patty did the research on the bonds to make sure the bonds are still in place. So we have that information. We've determined that we are going to request a meeting with the appropriate department heads and chairs, including the mayor, an internal meeting. And I
We
think
met this week with Matt,
okay,
and he has agreed to talk with Neil specifically, who he thinks is probably the most effective, and then carry that work forward with the mayor to see if we can't get one of these implemented this year.
I think what I think or learned and what I think is important to understand is that if there any resistance from the county is because a lot of these roads are not county owned, right? They're owned within the organizations, but there are a few roads that are county owned, so that number 1 on the list is, right?
Not really.
Oh, I thought there was,
No.
I thought there was two, you said that.
There's some that connect to county roads and that's
Connect
where,
county roads.
where they have been more willing. If we're connecting to a county road, they seem to be more willing to consider it.
And then there was a bill that was going through, would you explain that about these private roads? And that was another mechanism to make this happen easier.
Really,
We, just in the state ledge, we got passed this year, a bill, it goes into effect in 2026, which will enable community associations that don't hold title to their roads, to assume title to their roads if they, are, what happened when these roads were created, the, subdividers had corporations that created these subdivisions. When the last lot was sold, the corporations dissolved without turning over ownership of the road to the community association of that subdivision. So we have all these people out there maintaining roads and they don't own them. So now we're in a very legally conscious era and we want to contract, get a grant to maintain our roads and, oh, it belongs to a corporation that was dissolved 20 years ago. So, we can't do anything. So we just passed this legislation this year. Community associations will be able to assume title to their roads if the corporation has been dissolved for more than 5 years.
So that's great news, right? I mean, these are some of the barriers that have existed. But I
And
think,
that still goes into effect now where spare public works funds for roads can be used by community associations to improve and maintain important arteries in the subdivisions. And one of the stumbling blocks to that was the community associations don't own their roads. For the county to fund that, they will have to own their roads.
so thank you, Patty, for that update and for all the work you're doing. And I think for everyone here to understand that there is committed movement at this time, and I think the time is now. And so I guess we would have an action, and I think the action is, I think we've already discussed it, but to ensure this is a continuous agenda item. And that would have an update with Patty on it every time, and the internal smaller team that's not a big will continue to meet with the respective department heads and Matt and the others, and we'll update you and do everything we can to keep this ball really rolling this time.
So feel free to email Public Works and the mayor.
Okay, thank you, Patty. Okay, Mahalo Nui. So. Oh.
I kind of have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
So Patty, really, I've been only a short time on this committee, but I heard about Lower Puna and all the connecting roads they need. Was this addressed also?
The plan addresses both upper and lower Puna, although the upper Puna subdivisions are all adjacent to each other with no roads connecting them.
Yeah.
So they are more, there's just more of them. The Seaview is a very notable one. There are a couple of roads in Nonavale. One is a connectivity for mass transit. If we improve one corner, the bus can go all the way down to the bottom of Nonavale and serve the other half of their population. It just, and then there's the connectivity between Paradise Park, Nonavale, beaches and shores, and other points of connectivity down there that would enable more emergency evacuation if those roads were opened and maintained.
Can I also ask, so the emphasis is to have the county be the one who's gonna fund these and do the action. Is there not a place for the state and even federal and grants to help in this regard?
You cannot really disperse federal funds for private roads. The state sometimes will allow that level of flexibility, but they don't touch it.
Any other questions by committee members, action committee members? Okay, at this time then, so we are clear that we're gonna keep this as an agenda item and also with Patty providing an update. And we have public testimony for agenda items, not on the agenda. So at this time, could I call Judy up? And please state your name and you have 3 minutes. Okay, hi. If I look this way or that way, I look this way. Speak loud here, so everyone can.
Yeah, hi, I'm Judy Hool.
Well, excuse me.
I've lived in Hawaiian Paradise Park for 37 years, so I'm there for forever. And I came here with a group of us, thank you, Mary, for starting that subject of overdeveloping our community. So that's why we're here. Our neighbors are concerned, and we thought we could bring it up to your committee. And we have taken action and we have gotten some results. But unfortunately, it's after the fact. So there's 10 double duplexes that have been constructed in our community that we know of. And they were put up by the same individual who has filed 18 different LLCs. So it's been disguised. And we filed our complaint and we've met with our planning director twice, and the mayor knows the issue, Ashley knows the issue, the planning director knows the issue. Our community association knows about what's going on here. But the thing is, they've been completed. And they're not being changed to comply with the permit which they applied for originally. So it's an illegal, so it's considered illegal development, and we wish we had known more before it reached this point. So I'm here to learn what can we do other than what we've already done. The inspector has gone in, but I've been told there's only one inspector for the whole east side of Hawaii Island. So you can imagine Hawaiian Paradise Park has got 20,000 people. And here we are filing complaints, and I'm sure their desk has quite a pile of complaints. So I think logically speaking, the planning department needs help. They need some kind of division within themselves to address all these complaints. So we're hoping to connect with those people and be more effective for what we're trying to do for our own community. We're agriculturally zoned. We are not urban. We enjoy the country life, and we want to put a stop to this. And how does this happen? Is it a trickle down from the governor passing a bill that he thought all of Hawaii wants this to happen? But our community does not want this to happen. So what can we do? That's why I'm here. Here. Thank you. Thank you for having the time to listen to us. Thank you.
So at this time, are there any third-party reports from government officials? The time is 5:57. No, okay. So now we're looking at new business that we'd like to agendize on for a future meeting. So we have within the committee. Yeah, just other items that we want to propose. So actually, I would like, based on the 2 testimonies, I think if we could put this item of Paradise Park on I would propose that we put it on the agenda. One of the things we can do is provide a letter to our planning director, Jeff Darrow, about the community concern about this. And I don't know, maybe that's a starting place. About proposal, and
We can't make any comment related to that agenda item. I just know that it was on the agenda.
it's not on agenda, not on the agenda.
Something new.
Right, that's why I'm proposing to put it on the agenda so it can be talked about, but also providing a letter. And I don't know, is there anybody on the committee that would be willing to take the lead on that letter of concern? Marty? Okay, and I'll work with you on it.
Okay.
What if you start it and then I'll
Right.
work you on that. So, and then maybe after the meeting, maybe you could, share your. Some. Okay, so we could generalize the letter then as not just specific, or we could identify some. Two situations. No one could be married, also we'll go back to the offices.
Right, well, we had that presentation at the February meeting. And the state legislature passed where they were hoping the counties would also pass, which our county did. That 3 dwellings can be on a TMK,
Yeah, but these.
But not as.
but
Yeah.
not in
And
that,
this
so that is the exception.
Right, and this doesn't need.
Yeah, it seemed a
At
little.
any rate, this is not on the agenda item, so I'm sorry, we're not available to really discuss it today. We're just trying to put forward the agenda item for next time.
Thank you.
And as any other agenda items that the committee members would like to propose are on our agenda for our Tuesday, August 28th meeting. So we have 2 items, 2 proposed items. Was there any other holdover items from the?
Activity item, carrying on.
For the last minutes, who mentioned something that was,
There was an update on SB 321 and work, that's one of the bills. And, that went through the state. What I'm tracking that file, that has to do with. Transportation, trying to provide that anytime.
That one passed.
oh, it passed. That
It
is a
looks like it passed,
Okay, great.
so
So we're gonna.
we'll see what that means.
Okay.
spoke to me. Oh, perfect.
Okay, great.
Maybe the follow-up about water provision in Orchid Land. I mean, we did write the letter, but now. Did we get a response? Did we get any
Did not.
communication? So,
Maybe
Update,
another moment we can this
Right.
exact up again.
update on the water provisions. Okay. Okay, so a reminder for everyone present and commissioners that the next meeting is Tuesday, August 28th. And do we have a location yet?
It's Thursday, right? Thursday,
Tuesday,
August 28th.
Tuesday, August 28th.
The 28th is a Thursday.
Oh, sorry.
can I make this announcement?
Right, it should be a Thursday. We do Thursdays.
So Thursday, excuse the typo.
Sorry, the typo.
Can I make this announcement?
Yes, and then next is announcements, so. So sorry for the clarification, Thursday, August 28th, 5 o'clock, and to be determined the location, hopefully here. Okay, Marty, please provide your announcement.
Well, as I was preparing for this meeting, I was on my emails and I get the Tribune Herald edition. I don't know if any of you heard, this was dated today at 3:33 p.m. The police arrested somebody in Black Sand subdivision who had material to make bombs. He was found with explosive devices and bomb-making materials, 289 grams of methamphetamine, 459 grams of cocaine, and 1,700 grams of methamphetamine oil, 7 firearms, 6,000 rounds of ammunition. So I thought, this is unheard of, I thought, in Puna. I mean, maybe not unheard of, but this was really over the top surprise and shock and worrisome to me. I would not like to go near Black Sand subdivision. But that's my announcement.
Any other announcements from Action Committee members this time? Okay, and just to clarify, the PONC letter of support that was passed. Thank you very much for that. I'm assuming that Leilani was looking forward to Leilani to sign, and it will be submitted to the Plan Commission. Okay, so. Okay, if it's brief.
Yeah, just if,
Yeah, we're working with also Kathleen. So we're working with her. She said she wasn't ready for this meeting, but hopefully we'll be ready then on the agenda for the next meeting. That's the goal. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Great, and I see Lolo just saying aloha, Lolo. I see you on the Zoom right now. We are at the end of our meeting. So that is 6:04, and hold on one second.
Susie?
Yes,
Announce
oh,
revitalize
thank
Puna.
you. So I have an announcement on July 12th. We have our next Revitalize Puna activation event. This happens every quarterly as part of our recovery. And it's gonna be at the Billy Kenoy Park from 10 to 2. And the focus is on disaster, emergency preparedness.
Plant giveaway.
There's plant giveaway, vegetable seedlings. And also all the department heads of the county will be there providing updates, and there'll be resources, community resource row. So please join us. And there's food and there's, you get a meal. So it's a really wonderful dynamic event. So we encourage everyone to attend. Could you repeat the July 12th from 10 to 2 at the Billy Kenoy Park in Pahoa, above the swimming pool, the new gorgeous facility up there. So thank you, Patty, for that reminder. So at this time, it's 6:05. I now adjourn the meeting, and thank you all for coming, and this is a record short. Anyway, thank you, committee members, for being here so that we have quorum.